It all starts with Yelena. She's standing on the edge of a skyscraper, staring into the void. Something inside her feels off, not just grief over her sister, something deeper, a hollow, gnawing emptiness she can't explain. She thought diving into mission after mission would fill that space, give her some kind of purpose, but it's not working. Without warning, she jumps just before she hits the ground. Snap, her parachute deploys, perfect timing. With a wry smirk, she mutters, "Maybe I was just bored." She lands hard on another rooftop, right into a brawly group of armed men wait for her, but she takes them down with brutal precision. It's her job: take out threats, clean up the messes no one wants to talk about. But even in the middle of all this chaos, Yelena can't focus. She's lost in her own mind. The work doesn't feel meaningful anymore. She describes herself as a leaf, either stuck on a branch or drifting aimlessly down some cold, random river. Her mission this time: run a facial scan and destroy evidence tied to a suspicious lab. But during the op, something unexpected happened. She finds a guinea pig, literally, an actual test subject, no instructions on how to dispose of it, so she hesitates, bonding with the little guy for a moment. That's when a scientist bursts in. Yelena freezes. The man looks at her like he knows her. He accuses her of working for Valentina, of being sent to erase everything. He warns her that the lab belongs to a group called Ox, and that their research could threaten all of humanity. "You're making a huge mistake," he says. Then bam, he attacks. Yelena handles it quick and clean. She's about to finish the job when the man drops a name: Project Sui. He says it's not what she thinks. Before she can press him further, he's out cold. Yelena strolls away from the scene, sipping a coffee, cool as ever, while the building behind her erupts into flames. She radios in, "Mission complete." Meanwhile, Bucky Barnes sits in on a government hearing. He's not just the Winter Soldier anymore, he's a congressman now. He listens quietly as officials debate the removal of CIA Director Valentina de Fontaine. The accusations: she's tied to a covert organization called OX, allegedly running illegal labs and unethical experiments on human subjects in pursuit of creating super soldiers. Bucky wants her out. Valentina, unshaken, defends herself. She claims she did what needed to be done. With the Avengers mostly gone, someone had to protect the world. Every move she made, whether in the CIA or through Ox, was for the greater good. But as the trial ends, Valentina gives a cold command to her assistant: erase everything. Any evidence that could link her to Ox must disappear. Then comes the kicker: her secretary informs her that one of their labs has been destroyed. Yelena cut to Yelena visiting her father, Alexei the Red Guardian. He's loud, boisterous, full of pride, talks about his new life, the people he's met, the fame he's enjoyed. But he quickly realizes she didn't come just to say hi. Brings up Valentina. She's thinking of quitting, but Alexei surprises her, says he hates being out of the game. He misses it, the missions, the adrenaline, the purpose. He asks for her number, joking that he'd do anything to work with her again. He reminds her fame and fortune by friends, power, and some pretty great outfits for him, back when he was pulling civilians out of war zones, being treated like a god. That's when he felt truly alive. Yelena checks in with Valentina to confirm the lab job's done, but this time, she wants more than a mission report. She wants change. She's tired of the shadows. She wants something public, something real. Valentina plays it cool, offers her one last mission for Ox. After that, they'll talk. Yelena accepts the target, a vault. It's packed with Ox's most sensitive data, and someone's planning to hit it. Valentina wants Yelena to follow the intruder. The second they make a move and them, Yelena infiltrates the vault and finds files, disturbing photos, and evidence. Human experimentation. Then boom, John Walker, U.S. agent, bursts in wearing a knockoff Captain America suit. No questions, just fists. They fight hard, but before either can win, another figure drops in: Taskmaster. It's Antonia Dreykov, daughter of one of Yelena's worst enemies, a Red Room product turned weapon. She can mimic any fighting style she sees, making her a walking nightmare. But she's not there for Yelena. She's after Walker. Things spiral fast in the chaos. Taskmaster is knocked out, and that's when Ghost appears, Ava Starr, phasing in with her glitchy powers just when it seems like things can't get more confusing. A dazed young guy stumbles and he's lost, pale, barely able to stand. "I'm Bob," he says. "I don't know how I got here." Across town, Bucky meets privately with Mel, Valentina's assistant. He knows she didn't choose this life. He gives her a card, says nothing else, just leaves the door open. Back in the vault, the group uncovers a dark truth: they've all worked for Valentina, every one. Them used, manipulated, disposable. Ghost can't handle it. She tries to phase out and escape, but then, a low hum fills the air. The walls heat up. It's a trap. Valentina's watching from a distance, controlling the incinerator. She turns up the temperature. Her plan: erase every witness. Panic erupts. They scramble for an exit. Ghost phases out. The others think she's gone, but then she returns one by one. She pulls them through the walls just before the place explodes. The shockwave sends them flying, burned Battered but alive in the wreckage, Yelena locks eyes with Bob and something happens. She's pulled into a memory. Her first mission, she remembers tricking someone she cared about, then killing them. She jerks awake, gasping, drenched in sweat, haunted elsewhere. Mel reports to Valentina, tells her the mission failed, the vault crew survived, and they might be forming a team. Valentina just smirks. Let them. She says they're a walking antisocial disaster. She's certain they're way too chaotic, to pull off anything serious, but then Mel shows her a freeze frame, a new face they don't recognize. It's Bob. That wipes the smug smile off Valentina's face. She immediately orders a full-scale investigation. She needs to know who this guy is and how he got in. At the same time, strike teams mobilize fast. Meanwhile, the Red Guardian pulls off a smooth move of his own. He's gone undercover as Valentina's personal driver from that front row seat. He's overheard a lot more than she suspects. Back with the barely escaped crew, the atmosphere is tense. Everyone's eyes are on Bob. No one knows where he came from or what he's about. When pressed for answers, Bob can only say he was getting blood drawn and then suddenly woke up here. You still know how to trace phones? Bucky pauses, voice heavy. Yeah, but I left that life behind. Silence follows, then a click. Mel hangs up underground. They pull it back and make it out alive. Mel hands Valentina fresh intel on Project Cry. Why? Valentina shrugs it off, claiming all test subjects are long gone, but Mel knows better deep down. Valentina isn't so sure anymore. Here's the truth. Bob is actually Robert Reynolds, one of the original test subjects. Unlike the others, he survived the experiment for the first time. The project might have actually worked outside the vault. The crew regroups as John Walker reaches to shake Bob's hand. Bob suddenly gets pulled into a memory just like Yelena did in the vision. Bob's glued to his phone, staring at breaking news about a fallen superhero, oblivious to his crying baby nearby. Then his wife storms in, furious, blaming him for checking out when his family needed him most. Back to reality just as the group prepares to make a final move. A military squad arrives. They're surrounded, no way out. They know this might be the end. Amid the chaos, they huddle and quickly form a plan to hold their ground, but far away, Valentina watches, cold and calculating. She gives one strict order: no lethal force. There's someone in that group she still needs alive. Yelena stays back with Bob. Ghost phases through the perimeter ahead of the others, waiting outside to assist. John Walker braces for the first wave of soldiers, closing in fast. Yelena's supposed to trigger the overhead lights to blind the attackers, but when she tries, nothing happens. The system's fried. It stays dark. Walker ends up facing the squad alone. When Yelena and Bob catch up, they find him standing over a pile of unconscious enemies, barely standing. No time to rest. Another wave approaches. Yelena hands Bob a weapon, though bleeding and shaken, ready to get them out. At the ID checkpoint, everything falls apart. The guards are suspicious. No way through. Bob looks around, breath ragged. He makes a choice. He steps out, gun raised, yelling, "I'm the one you're after." He surrenders. A last-ditch distraction. Bullets rip into him. The others make a break for it, but then something impossible happens. Bob doesn't die. Instead, he starts to float, eyes wide with shock. He lifts off the ground, flying. Everyone watches, stunned. Without hesitation, Bob rockets into the sky and dives down like a missile. The blast doesn't level the area but causes massive damage. Soldiers down, chaos everywhere. Bob crashes hard, knocked out cold. The team is scattered by the shockwave but alive. Valentina watches, eyes icy. She gives a sharp order: find Bob and the others. Blowing a truck off the road with perfect precision. The blast also destroys Red Guardian's car. Again later, the team finds themselves tied up, not harshly, just secure. Bucky stands before them, arms crossed. He tells them he doesn't see them as enemies. They're evidence, key players in a case he's building to bring down Valentina. He wants her away, out of power, sealed in a maximum security cell. Meanwhile, Valentina enters a dim room where Bob is recovering, still weak but alive. She reminds him he volunteered for the experiment. It was his choice. Bob's first question: where's Yelena? Where are the others? Bob's control shatters. The void lashes out violently. No longer subtle or quiet. Memories twist and strike like living shadows. Death can't touch them here, but pain claws deep. The Thunderbolts burst through the darkness, led by Red Guardian. No matter what's happened, they're still a team. They fight through the nightmare shadows, holding on. Yelena recalls something Bob said: this room is the quiet one. The worst memories lie ahead. So they push deeper, descending into the darkest, most twisted corners of Bob's mind. Meanwhile, the city above crumbles, consumed by the void's shapeless horror. Sirens wail, buildings collapse one by one. They relive Bob's most painful moment. Lurking in the shadows, the void waits, watching. Feeding. Yelena steps forward. We found the exit, time to leave, but the void shatters the illusion, revealing it's true. monstrous form. A wave of pure destruction tears through the memory space, crushing hope, shattering every fragile thought. Bob freezes. The void corners him, whispering poison in his mind. They don't care about you, they're just using you. They'll forget you like everyone else. But this time, Bob doesn't break. His eyes ignite with fierce light, his voice steady. I'm stronger than you because I'm not alone anymore. For the first time, Bob fights not for vengeance, not for power, but for truth, for himself. Fists fly, rage roars from his chest, punching at the pain. The Thunderbolts watch, horrified. This is exactly what the void wants: to consume Bob, to erase him, to become him. But Yelena won't let go. She pushes through the nightmare fragments, doesn't strike or scream. Instead, she wraps her arms around him. You're not alone, Red Guardian, Ghost, Walker, Bucky. They form a circle, no weapons, no powers, just human presence, love, empathy, friendship. Together, they hold Bob steady, and bit by bit, the void fades. Reality snaps back. The city breathes again. People who vanished begin to reappear. Destruction halts. The sky clears. Bob is still dazed, unaware of the battle just won. But this time, he's not alone. They are a team now. The Thunderbolts from the shadows. Valentina watches. A smirk spreads, then she bolts. The Thunderbolts give chase only to find her surrounded by flashing cameras and reporters. Live on air, she grabs the mic with venom. Meet your new Avengers, the heroes who will protect this city. The crowd roars. The team stands stunned, but Yelena stays cold, steps forward, snatches the mic from Valentina, and leans close. Now you belong to us. Cut to black.